Habits are the silent architects of your life. They build your future one action at a time, whether you're aware of it or not. Some habits elevate you, while others quietly destroy your potential. Today, we expose the 7 hidden habits that could be holding you back and show you how to defeat them. Procrastination is one of the most destructive habits we battle daily, and yet it often disguises itself as harmless. It whispers, "You've got time," or "You'll feel more ready tomorrow." But tomorrow rarely brings that magical burst of motivation we're waiting for. What it does bring is more delay, more stress, and more regret. Procrastination is not just laziness, it's avoidance. It's the art of self-sabotage wrapped in comfort. It feels safe in the moment, but it's quietly stealing your future behind your back. Think of procrastination like a credit card. It gives you a sense of ease now, but eventually the bill arrives. And the interest. It comes in the form of missed opportunities, broken promises to yourself, and dreams that never make it past the idea stage. Every time you delay that important task, you create a mental weight. That weight builds over time and turns into anxiety, guilt, and a loss of self-trust. You begin to question your own ability to follow through. You begin to see yourself as someone who doesn't finish what they start. And that belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But here's the truth. Procrastination isn't about time management. It's about emotional management. Most of us don't put things off because we're lazy. We put them off because we're overwhelmed. We fear failure, we feel uncertain, or we want to avoid discomfort. So instead of confronting the task, we escape. We scroll, we clean, we distract. But the task remains, quietly waiting for us, growing heavier the longer we ignore it. So how do you break free from the grip of procrastination? It starts by shifting your mindset. Most people wait for motivation to strike before taking action. But that's backwards. Motivation doesn't come before action, it comes from action. The moment you start, even in a small way, you create momentum. That momentum leads to motivation, and that motivation leads to more action. It's a cycle, but you have to be the one to kickstart it. The key is to start small. Overwhelm thrives in vague, large goals, but clarity kills procrastination. Take that big task you've been avoiding and break it down into tiny, manageable steps. Don't focus on the entire project. Just focus on doing the first 5 minutes. Often, that's all it takes. Once you begin, your brain switches from resistance to engagement. The hardest part is starting. But once you've started, the resistance begins to fade. It also helps to use simple tricks to hold yourself accountable. Set a timer for 10 minutes and tell yourself you'll just work on the task until the timer rings. Chances are, once those 10 minutes pass, you'll want to keep going. Remove distractions from your environment. Put your phone in another room. Close the extra browser tabs. Set the stage for focus and your brain will rise to meet it. Another powerful method is to remind yourself of the cost of inaction. Picture the consequences of not doing the task. Picture the stress it will cause later. Picture how it will feel to fall short of your potential. Then contrast that with how good it will feel to just get it done. To move one step closer to your goal, to take back control. And finally, be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up if you've been procrastinating. Guilt only adds weight to the cycle. Instead, forgive yourself and recommit. Start fresh, not tomorrow, but today. Even this very moment. Because the time will pass anyway. The days, weeks, and months will go by whether you act or not. The question is, what will you have to show for it? Progress or regret? Momentum or more excuses? You don't need more time. You need to make better use of the time you already have. That begins with action, no matter how small. One step forward beats standing still every time. Start now. Your future self is depending on it. Negative self-talk is one of the most damaging habits a person can carry. It's subtle, quiet, and often disguised as self-awareness. But what it really is, at its core, is internal sabotage. It's that inner voice that whispers, "You're not good enough, you always mess things up, or why even try?" These thoughts may seem harmless or even factual in the moment, but over time, they become deeply embedded beliefs that shape your confidence, decisions, and life outcomes. Imagine trying to drive a car with your foot on the brake the entire time. You might move, but never with the speed or ease you're capable of. That's exactly what negative self-talk does. It drags you down. It slows your progress. It clouds your potential. And worse, it convinces you that you're not worthy of more. This internal dialogue often begins in childhood, influenced by criticism, comparison, failure, or trauma. Over time, we internalize these voices and mistake them for our own. But they are not truth, they are stories. And stories can be rewritten. The first step to overcoming negative self-talk is awareness. Most people aren't even conscious of how they speak to themselves. They go through the day with a mental loop of criticism, doubt, and fear, not realizing that these thoughts are not facts, they're just habits. So begin by listening. Pay attention to your inner dialogue. When you catch yourself thinking something self-defeating, pause. Ask yourself, would I speak to someone I love this way? If the answer is no, then you shouldn't speak to yourself that way either. Challenge those thoughts. Interrogate them. Ask, is this really true? Where did this belief come from? What evidence do I have that supports a more empowering perspective? Often you'll find that negative self-talk is built on assumptions, not reality. It's rooted in fear, not fact. And once you recognize that, you begin to take back your power. Next, replace those limiting thoughts with intentional, uplifting ones. This isn't about lying to yourself or pretending everything is perfect. It's about redirecting your mind toward what's real and what's possible. Replace I'm a failure with I'm learning and growing every day. Replace I'm not smart enough with I can figure things out as I go. Use affirmations that remind your mind of your worth, your progress, and your potential. It may feel awkward at first, like you're forcing positivity, but stick with it. Your mind adapts to what it's consistently exposed to. Just as it learned to believe the negative, it can learn to believe the positive. Think of affirmations as mental nutrients. They strengthen your mindset over time. Repetition is key. Say them out loud. Write them down. Post them where you'll see them every day. The more you feed your mind with truth and power, the more it will begin to reflect that strength in how you think, feel, and act. Also, pay attention to the environments and people that reinforce negative self-talk. Are you constantly around criticism, sarcasm, or comparison? What you hear consistently from others can echo in your own thoughts. Protect your mental space. Surround yourself with people and influences that uplift you. Read empowering books. Listen to motivational content. Choose your input carefully because it becomes your inner output. Lastly, practice self-compassion. You will have off days. You will slip into old patterns. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up for it. Speak to yourself like someone who's doing their best, not someone who should be perfect. Growth isn't linear and healing isn't instant. But every time you catch a negative thought and replace it with a powerful one, you're rewiring your mind. You're becoming your own ally instead of your own enemy. Remember, the most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. Make it count, make it kind, and make it empowering. In today's digital age, comparison has become almost second nature. With every scroll, we see perfectly curated photos, exciting life updates, luxury vacations, glowing skin, fit bodies, and happy relationships. Social media has made it incredibly easy to compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. But here's the truth. Comparison is the thief of joy. It robs you of appreciation. It shifts your focus away from what you have and zooms in on what you believe you're missing. And the more you compare, the more dissatisfied and disconnected you feel from your own path. What people rarely show online is the struggle behind the success, the setbacks behind the smile, the chaos behind the calm. Everyone is dealing with something, even if their feed looks perfect. But when you constantly measure yourself against others, you forget that your journey is different. You forget that timing is personal. You forget that what works for someone else may not be meant for you. And that's not a failure, that's divine design. Your growth, your purpose, your lessons, and your blessings have their own pace. Trust it. Comparison often breeds jealousy, envy, or even self-doubt. It tells you that you're not doing enough, not good enough, not progressing fast enough. But here's what's powerful. You get to change the narrative. Instead of asking, why not me? Ask, what can I learn? Shift from comparison to curiosity. Use someone else's success as a spark, not a setback. If someone is doing well in a space you want to grow in, study them. Observe their habits, their mindset, their discipline. Let their progress be your blueprint, not your burden. The key to breaking free from comparison is awareness and redirection. When you catch yourself spiraling into envy or inadequacy, pause. Acknowledge the thought, but don't dwell there. Redirect your attention to your own progress. Ask yourself, where was I a year ago? What obstacles have I overcome? What am I proud of today? These questions bring you back to yourself. They remind you that your journey is valid, even if it looks different. They help you honor your pace and your process. Gratitude is another powerful weapon against comparison. When you focus on what's going right in your life, what others have no longer feels threatening. Gratitude grounds you. It helps you see abundance instead of scarcity. Start by listing 3 things you're grateful for every day, big or small. This simple habit rewires your brain to seek joy in your own life instead of longing for someone else's. Also, protect your energy by being intentional with what you consume. Unfollow accounts that make you feel less than. Mute the noise. Your peace is more important than staying updated with someone else's life. Choose content that uplifts, educates, and inspires you. Curate your environment the same way you would a diet, because what you consume emotionally affects your mindset deeply. Most importantly, understand that success is not a competition. There is room for everyone. Just because someone else is winning doesn't mean you're losing. Their light doesn't dim yours. We all rise higher when we celebrate each other's victories. So clap for others while still working on your own goals. Their progress has nothing to do with your worth. Stay focused on your lane. Trust your timing. Embrace your process. The only person you should compare yourself to is the version of you from yesterday. If you're growing, healing, learning, and showing up, that's enough. You're already ahead. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. Keep going. Keep evolving. And remember, your journey is beautifully and uniquely yours. No comparison needed. Excuses are comfortable lies we tell ourselves to avoid discomfort. They're clever, sneaky, and often sound reasonable. But deep down, we know the truth. Excuses are the bricks we lay when we're building a wall between ourselves and our potential. Every time we say, "I'm too tired," or "I'm just not ready," we feed the illusion that conditions need to be perfect before we act. But here's the reality. Perfection doesn't exist. And waiting for the perfect moment often means waiting forever. Excuses come in many forms. I don't have time. I don't know how. I'm not talented enough. I've already failed before. These aren't facts, they're mental traps. They give you a way out, a back door, a reason not to stretch beyond your comfort zone. And while they may offer temporary relief, in the long run, they leave you stuck in the same place, spinning in circles, wondering why life isn't changing. The most dangerous part about excuses is that they feel justified. Life is busy. Things are hard. You do have fears. But using those truths as reasons to stay stagnant only delays your growth. Every excuse is an opportunity to either give up or level up. You get to decide whether your limitations define you or challenge you. The truth is, people with less time, fewer resources, and more setbacks have still succeeded because they chose solutions over excuses. If you want real progress, you have to take ownership of your choices. Stop blaming the schedule, the economy, the people around you, or your past. Take the power back. Ask yourself, what can I control right now? Because control equals freedom. When you shift from "I can't" to "how can I," everything changes. Suddenly, time is something you make, not something you wait for. Knowledge becomes something you seek, not something you lack. Fear turns into fuel. Failure becomes feedback. Excuses rob you of accountability. And accountability is where growth happens. When you own your results, good or bad, you also own your ability to change them. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start becoming the architect of your future. That mindset shift is everything. Because life will always throw obstacles. The difference between those who rise and those who remain is not their luck. It's their mindset. Winners find a way. Others find an excuse. Ask yourself, what's the excuse you keep using that's holding you back? Be honest. Is it the fear of failing again? Is it the belief that you're not ready? Is it the comfort of procrastination disguised as patience? Identify it. Name it. Then dismantle it. Challenge the excuse every time it shows up. Replace "I don't have time" with "what am I prioritizing?" Replace "I don't know how" with "who can I learn from?" Replace "I've tried before" with "this time I'll try smarter." You don't need more time. You don't need more motivation. You need more truth. And the truth is you are capable. You are resourceful. You are ready right now to take the first step. Excuses only have power when you believe them. So stop feeding them. Starve them with action. Even small action. Progress isn't always massive, it's consistent. It's daily decisions that say, I'm done settling, I'm done hiding, I'm done making excuses. Every moment you resist your excuses is a moment you reclaim your power. You begin to operate from intention instead of avoidance. You choose discipline over doubt. You move forward even when it's messy or hard or unclear. And that's when momentum builds. That's when transformation happens. Draw the line. No more waiting, no more blaming, no more excuses. Own your path. Take the next step, not tomorrow, now. Because your dreams don't respond to excuses. They respond to action. Multitasking is one of the biggest illusions of productivity. It feels like you're getting more done, like you're winning the day by juggling 5 things at once. But the truth is, multitasking doesn't make you efficient, it makes you scattered. It's not a strength, it's a silent saboteur. When you constantly shift between tasks, you lose focus, clarity, and effectiveness. Your brain isn't designed to fully engage in multiple complex activities at the same time. What you're really doing is task switching, and every switch drains your mental energy. Research proves it. Multitasking can reduce your productivity by up to 40%. That's nearly half of your effort gone, wasted, simply because your attention is divided. You might feel busy, but being busy and being effective are not the same. In fact, constant multitasking makes you more likely to make mistakes, forget details, and overlook important things. It creates a mind that's always running, but never arriving. And in the long run, it leads to burnout, anxiety, and mental fatigue. We live in a world that celebrates speed and hustle. Notifications, messages, open tabs, and constant interruptions trick us into believing that jumping between tasks is a sign of progress. But it's not. True progress comes from depth, not speed. It comes from presence, not pressure. Multitasking keeps you stuck in surface-level performance. You start many things but rarely finish them with excellence. You touch everything but master nothing. If you want real results, you need to slow down and focus. Single tasking is a superpower in a distracted world. When you give one task your full attention, you enter a flow state. Time slows down, creativity sharpens, ideas connect more easily. You become fully engaged with what's in front of you, and the quality of your work rises. Whether you're writing, speaking, planning, or even just listening, being fully present is what makes the difference. Start by becoming aware. Notice how often your mind jumps from one thing to another. Catch yourself reaching for your phone while you're mid-task. Observe how distractions creep in. Then begin training yourself to resist them. Set boundaries. Turn off notifications. Create focused blocks of time where you commit to doing one thing, and only one thing, with full intensity. The more you practice, the more your focus muscle grows. And when it's time to rest, really rest. Don't scroll your phone while watching a movie or answer emails while eating dinner. Give your mind and body the gift of full presence. Rest is just as essential as work, and when you allow yourself to be fully in one mode, your energy replenishes more deeply. You'll find that you get more done in less time, with less stress and more satisfaction. Multitasking also robs you of mindfulness. It steals the richness of the present moment. You miss the details, the insights, the beauty of what's right in front of you because your mind is elsewhere. Life isn't meant to be lived in fragments. It's meant to be lived fully, one moment at a time. When you focus on one task, you honor it. You bring your best self to it. You complete it with care and excellence. And that's how you build mastery. Let go of the myth. Multitasking isn't a badge of honor. It's a trap. Choose intentional focus. Choose presence. Choose to show up fully to each moment, each task, each conversation. That's where true productivity lives. That's where peace of mind grows. And that's how you separate yourself from the noise, by doing one thing with total clarity and power. Perfectionism is a silent dream killer. It disguises itself as a pursuit of excellence, but in reality it's a mask for fear. It tells you it's not ready yet, or you're not ready yet, so you hesitate. You overthink, you delay, you never launch. And while you're polishing every corner, life is moving forward. Opportunities pass, ideas fade, momentum dies. Perfectionism doesn't make your work better, It keeps you stuck in a cycle of endless preparation and no execution. Perfectionism says, if it's not flawless, don't do it. But the truth is, nothing is ever flawless. Every masterpiece was once a rough draft. Every expert was once a beginner. Every success story was built on imperfection, trial and error. The pursuit of perfection keeps you in your head and out of action. And action is where growth lives. You don't grow by thinking. You grow by doing, learning, adjusting, and moving forward. When you aim for perfection, you set yourself up for disappointment. Because no matter how much effort you pour in, there will always be something you could have done better. And that mindset leads to self-criticism, burnout, and paralysis. It steals the joy of the journey. It disconnects you from progress and keeps your worth tied to impossible standards. Perfectionism is not about having high standards. It's about fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of not being good enough. But growth doesn't come from avoiding failure. It comes from embracing it. Every mistake is a lesson. Every setback is feedback. Every imperfect step is part of the path to mastery. The sooner you accept that perfection is a myth, the sooner you free yourself to create, build, and become. Done is always better than perfect. You can revise something that exists. You can't improve something you never started. Start messy. Let it be raw. Let it be flawed. But start. Get it out into the world. Ship it. Share it. Speak it. Create it. Because it's only when you release your work that you begin to refine it with real-world experience, not just internal expectations. Progress thrives where perfection ends. When you let go of the need to get it exactly right, you give yourself permission to move forward, to experiment, to explore. You become more resilient, more creative, and more confident. You stop fearing mistakes and start learning from them. You realize that good enough is often more than enough to make an impact, solve a problem, or help someone else. Look at the people you admire, the leaders, the creators, the builders. None of them waited for perfection. They acted. They launched before they were ready. They failed, learned, and improved. Their courage to start imperfectly is what separated them from the crowd. You don't remember them for being flawless. You remember them for being bold, real, and relentless. So trade perfection for progress. Replace paralysis with momentum. Let yourself be a beginner. Let your first draft be ugly. Let your voice shake. Let your hands tremble. Just don't let that stop you. Because every step forward, even the messy ones, takes you closer to the person you're becoming. Perfectionism will always whisper, wait until it's better. But your greatness is built in the doing, not the waiting. Silence that voice with action. Give yourself grace. Celebrate your progress. Show up consistently, even when it's imperfect. That's how dreams are built, not in flawless execution, but in relentless effort. Let go of perfect. Embrace real. Take the leap. Start now. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be in motion. Perfectionism is just fear wearing a mask. It pretends to protect you from failure, but really, it stops you from ever fully living. Your potential doesn't lie in flawless execution. It lies in your willingness to take imperfect action. Let go of the illusion that everything has to be just right before you begin. Life rewards the bold, not the perfect. Start where you are. Use what you have. And do what you can. Progress will follow. Remember, perfection is a moving target. Chase growth instead. Because your impact, your success, and your evolution are waiting on the other side of good enough.